Oh, that too, but for the ceremony.
All right, all rise. All right. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance and we'll have Holly.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, let's have, hey, Lauren, can you do the four-way pack?
I would love the four-way pack in the way I interact with others. Personal accountability with courage, truth. First,
I'll have the courage to tell the whole truth. I'll be kind in the way I tell it. I'll be fair and not seek selfish advantage. I'll have an open heart and an open mind.
Jack, you do the invitation.
Keep the power in. Dear God, we give thanks for this day. We ask a blessing on the Rotarians here and around the world and the projects that they're involved with. Bless this meeting and this food to our use. We ask this in your name.
Amen.
Please be seated.
Oh, I'm good. I do it every year. Absolutely. Where you are. And it's true at the bottom, and it's cold. So you have to use just the essentials.
Any announcements today? Bruce.
Well, everybody, I've been working very hard. Working very hard on my diction. Is it an ooh or an o? I'm going to try hard. Oh, oopa.
Opa.
Opa. Okay. I knew it had to be one of those. Opa. We're almost filled, folks. We have 13 of 16 spaces accounted for. There's only 3 left. I'll send around the sign-up sheet, and I'd be just as happy as a clam if you could join us for a little flower viewing and smelling and cavorting and et cetera, and then Opa.
I've always wanted to know, how happy is a clam anyway? And where did that come from?
When you open it up, that makes you look like a big smile.
Oh, is that what it is? Are you sure? Or you just making that up? I want to make an announcement about the toolkit project coming up. I tell you what, I had such an amazing experience yesterday. I spent the morning at Hoffman High School talking to the kids that are applying for the tools kit, as well as the tuition part of our programs. I was just blown away. I talked to 11 kids yesterday. All 11 independently looked me in the eye, shook my hand, thanked me for the opportunity, and said, Rotary does so much for this community. Tell me Dave Ligman's not doing the job. That was impressive. Very, very impressive. We will have our interviews on Tuesday night. I know I've confirmed with Bonnie, but I haven't seen Vince, whether or not he will be able to join us. But that'll be Tuesday evening that we'll have those done. Tuesday, the 14th is when we do the award ceremony at Hoffman High School. If anyone is interested in attending, I will need a list of names and your driver's, license plates, so that we can register them at the front desk, and they'll escort you down to the lab for the ceremony that will start at noon. For all of us that need to be there early, I don't know if you're going to want to come, Holly, but I know Tom will, and Bonnie is part of the committee if you're interested. We can meet at the back door after around 11:30, going that way. And so we don't have to go through the main desk. And we'll need to be there a few minutes to set up early. I've got tables coming, but we'll need the Rotary banner and flag to show. And then and Tom is just, you know what, I got to stop a minute and applaud Tom. This guy, behind the scenes, you don't know what this guy does. He's everywhere. Everything I touch, it seems like he has to set the stage and smooth out the way for me to get there. And so again, I thank you, Tom, for all that you do for this club. But again, if anybody's interested in attending the 14th, I do need your name and your car's license plate. So thanks, and we'll keep you updated.
Nothing about applauding you.
Thanks, Don. Wonderful program. Hello, Friendly Club. We have the March Madness pool. We need 20 more signatures. Remember, if you signed up once, but then sign up again, you have twice as many chances of winning. And that's the way the math works. So I'm going to pass this around. Pass you up.
The Classic is coming up, and we're doing very well. We're approximately 160 tickets, probably 170 tickets. So we're doing very well. We've got several sponsors. We still need sponsors and still need a lot more tickets. So thank you for all the hard work that you've done so far, and keep up the good work.
Project selection, the deadline has come and passed. We're not taking any more applications except for the extensions that we gave some of the clubs, some of the organizations that were there. I'm very happy to report we have 25 applications currently, and we're giving extensions to 3 more organizations. So it should be a very good project selection year. On the other side of things, speaking on behalf of Holly, we do have our scholarships available for high school students, and also RILA. We've got RILA coming up, and we've got plenty of money to send students to RILA. So if you know somebody that's a junior or a senior, they should know about these 2 things because they're very valuable. So keep that in mind. Thank you much. They gotta steal some food, otherwise, my.
Tom, you take that whole thing. Hello, Friendly Club. Who's happy today? I'm happy. I knew it wasn't going to snow. Holly?
All right, I am very happy to be back from Uganda. Had a fabulous service trip there. Oh, just filled my heart. I will also forever be grateful for the things we take for granted in this country, like you turn on hot water and you get hot water. Like, it's just amazing that those things are so lacking in this developing world. And but we did some really good things, building the school out in the very south western corner of Uganda near Kampala. So, and I also attended a Rotary meeting there, and I got us a flag.
Hey.
It's amazing. Sure. It was really, and you know, they had a guest speaker, and she was, she talked all about toxic work environments and stuff. It's like very progressive things in a you know, kind of you assume a very patriarchal kind of society. I was really impressed. She was a great speaker. And she was the incoming president for that club. So the current sitting president was very staid, kind of a quiet guy, and she was so she was charismatic as all get out. So anyway, that was a really interesting thing.
All right. Can you collect, Holly? Who else is happy? Bruce.
Well, I'm $5 happy because at long last, we filled up all of the slots to go to the OPA. Flower. So,
Opa.
yes, indeed. So if you want to go on the wait list, because things happen, pass around the list. For all the people who signed up, I'm $5 happy because you did. So,
Wait, anybody else? Wait,
Anybody else happy? No takers? I'm $20 happy. Tomorrow I get to put my yard signs out in people's yards, so hopefully people will know that I'm actually running for commissioner of the Schaumburg Park District and vote for me.
All right, yes. I'll take a yard sign. Well, I'm in the Schaumburg Township. Is that right?
I believe you're in the Park District.
Oh, yeah,
I'll
yeah,
look
yeah.
at the map.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll display your screen.
Okay.
Anybody else happy?
Anybody else happy?
I think I did 20.
All right, the Queen of Hearts. Hopefully somebody who is here wins today. I'll shuffle an extra time just to be sure. All right, here we go. Bill Kelly wins. Woo. Choose a number. One with a card.
I'm gonna let my birthday twin pick a number for me.
Oh, nice. Well, there's no 69. I'm gonna give you 22.
Come on, 22.
Already destroyed the turns.
Just like Boston, America.
It's what you are, king of the club.
Oh, man.
All right, since this is a club assembly, enjoy your lunch.
Is it? Did you? Oh, you did? Oh, for heaven's sake. Good. This is true. This is true. You make up for it down the road. All right, well, you can think about this. Okay. As Chris has,
Hey, good for that. Like you could just have. This is the shower. Right? Okay, I'm not gonna tell anyone. No one. So. I mean, in people. And then drive to one laying down. On Sunday, Monday. Just like a triple
Run into each other, they fall down on the ground. That's what we So some of the things I added, are showing that show the wrong coming from so he described how the person enters all the information on the insurance. And he looked out here at the punch card. Punch cards. Embrace the new audio technology, stereo. All right, before we get Roger up here, I had the distinct honor, about 3 years ago, Eileen came to me and asked, I was the youth services person. I didn't even know what it's called, whatever Holly is now. That's what I was. Anyway, she came up and she said, hey, we do all this great stuff with the fishing well, keeping up with our award recipients and things like that. Do we ever do that with the scholarships? And I looked at her blankly and said, sounds like a good idea. So I got the list of all of the different scholarship winners. I went on LinkedIn and tried to connect with each of them saying, hey, you won something with Rotary. We'd love to connect here and maybe have you come back. Well, I reconnected with them again to talk with them about coming to our scholarship luncheon. We have about 7 or 8 of them that are coming to our scholarship luncheon on May 12th. They're going to be prepared for a 30-second what they've been doing since. One of our scholarship winners ended up in San Diego, and she is a scientist. I had the honor of interviewing her. So for 4 minutes and 30 seconds, you got to put up with me asking her questions, but she's got some really good answers to them. So here it is. Also, it's on YouTube. Our YouTube page has lots of great stuff. We've got Lindsay Josh here with us. She is one of our scholarship winners from 2011, received the Doc Moon Scholarship. And Lindsay, I don't know if you know this, but Doc Moon was a member of our club. The scholarship was originally set up to help people in the Schaumburg, Kaufman Estates area. Lindsay, think back to that time. What motivated you to apply for the scholarship?
Well, I'm a first generation college student on my dad's side of the family. So I was the first person to ever really look at how to get funding for college. Very motivated to just try to set myself up to not struggle so much and to just only work and focus on my academics and focus on what's really going to be interesting and fulfilling for my life. So it's like really important and special that there are programs like yours that allow people like me to get rewarded for the work they've done and the focus that they put into high school and their academics. And it just like really promotes like positivity. I always found myself joining volunteer clubs. So I was always kind of just volunteer focused because I enjoy the atmosphere that one can get from joining a volunteer group. And everybody's willing to help each other out, and it's very low judgment, and it just makes you feel really good. So
do you still volunteer? Is that still part of what you do?
So yeah, so anything animal related I love to do. And then also anything with my job right now, I'll help like plan the Earth Day event. So it's a free ecology for sure, but yeah, so I mostly focus on like animal and sustainability type volunteer work.
After high school, where did you go to college and what have you done since then?
I went to Marquette University all 4 years. I jumped around with my major a lot. I started in business. I knew right away that that was not for me. And then I jumped into math and teaching. And I had the aspiration of being a high school math teacher. This is a little lesson for anybody. Always listen to your inner soul and your inner voice telling you that, you know, there's some other interests that you have that are bigger than what you're currently pursuing, and it's never too late to change your major. So I did change mine for a third time to biology because I had the goal of working with animals for veterinary science, and it was awesome. And I'm really glad to be in biology right now. My first real job was working for a dairy cultures company. So I was technically an associate dairy scientist, which is very Wisconsin. And then I recently moved out to California, and now I'm working for a company that makes bacteria, engineers bacteria or proteins from bacteria. So we're in R&D. A lot of our work could potentially go to into people's bodies one day as medicine. So it's all very rewarding work in the end.
Any type of advice you would give either yourself in 2011 or somebody in your position that's a senior in high school trying to figure out what they want to major in, what school they want to go to?
Yeah, I would say to the people out there today who are graduating seniors soon and getting ready to go to their schools, to have fun with it. And then always make sure that every time you're taking a class that you're really considering, hey, do I really like this? And do I really want to keep learning about this or talking about this subject, you know, in 5 years from now or 4 years from now when I graduate? And to also have a lot of fun. College goes by fast. And also definitely reach out to people in the careers that you're interested in and ask them questions about their day-to-day and like really try to put yourself in their shoes and think about, is this something that I would really want to do? So just start looking for mentors and even volunteering at companies or trying to get internship at companies that you're interested in.
Actually, Zoom has been critical when you're trying to record. So it's either only the person talking or it's the two of you. So I wasn't really sure, so I tried to kind of keep things going. And yeah, it ended up being the two of us. Whatever 2011 plus 30 now.
Let's invite our fine master, Mr. Roger Smith, to part us with some of our money.
Hello, Friendly Club. Yeah, I don't have that much today. But remember, what I do have is for the kids, right? And it is a budgeted item. I was talking to Bob Fleischer, and he's like, "Well, do you have to do it?" I go, "It's in a budget. You do have to do it, right?" So if you were late today, if you didn't wear your pin or your name badge, so look around at your partner. Raise your hand if you see if somebody next to you is not wearing a name badge. Come on. Remember, this is budgeted. Okay, well, Bob Fleischer is not wearing a name badge or a pin. So so that's going to be $2 for each item. And thanks for collecting there, Brian. I appreciate it. How about George? Do you want to collect as well? Yeah. And then the next thing is, hey, Nancy, where were you recently? You were in St. Martin, right? I don't hold that against you. We all go on vacation, right? But let's say you came in here today wearing a hat and it said St. Martin. That's kind of putting it in people's face, isn't it, Don?
Oh, Don.
Don, you were wearing the same Martin hat when you came in, right? Okay, so that's $2. Well, thank you. Now, I was talking about doing the finding with, last night I had dinner actually with Jim and Bonnie. And the lovely Renee Escoff Smith. And so they had a heads up. And they know it's a budget item, it's for the kids. And Tom came in here today without his name badge. And Bonnie found it for him and gave it to him, thus causing me not to find Tom. But then I have to instead find you, Bonnie. But what'd you say to me? What'd you say?
Doing nice things.
Well, it's not nice if we're raising money for kids. You take the money out of the kids' hands. I mean, come on. Raise your hand if you are in the Schaumburg Park District. Okay, all right. Now, only 2 of you said, I think it was Holly and who else? Bruce? So everybody else paid $2 because you didn't volunteer to have a sign put up in your yard.
Well, Bill already committed.
Okay,
So did Debbie.
okay, Bill, you don't have to do it. Debbie, you don't have to do it. If you've already pre-agreed, you don't get to agree right now. But if you had pre-agreed to, and this is it the truth? Hey, I have a question for you guys. Just, is it the truth? Do you prefer being down here or upstairs?
Upstairs.
Yeah. So why would that be? More space. It's like too crowded here, right? So what if you came in late and there was a table like right over here with Bob Fleisch or Roger Smith and Terry Park?
I missed what you said about.
With just 3 people, but there's a table over there with 4 people already. And then you decide to sit at that table with 5 in an already crowded room.
Available for me, but the president took it. He changed.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the president because when you came in and sat down, he was up here all by himself. All by himself. But apparently, you know what, Brian? I'm going to find you. You know what the maximum is today? It's 5, except for you. It's $5 and a penny. 501 for you.
Hey, Roger, it's just me and Ernie over here.
Yeah. Plus, what about Ernie and Tom? You don't like them either?
Yeah, something else in place of the chairs.
It had nothing to do with Wendy and Debbie being at that table, right?
Hey.
All right, we're gonna do 5 trivia questions. $2 a piece on the truth. You get to raise your hand. Well, no, actually, I'm just gonna pick on somebody and they're gonna be it for the whole group, right? So first, I will pick a history question for my birthday twin, Bill Kelly. And if you answer this right, nobody pays, but if you answer wrong, everybody pays $2 up to $5 total. Who called himself an orphan of America at the Chicago 7 trial? You're gonna get this.
You're gonna give them multiple choice or?
Nope. Bill's a history guy. It's in Chicago. You should get this, Bill.
I think he's gonna pass out from thinking too hard. You okay? I got a default to every hospital.
That's the answer. That's the answer. All right. It could be. So George, thanks for pointing that out. I'm gonna give you the next question. Who jumped off? This is an entertainment question. Who jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge? Nobody help him. Who is it? Yeah, no, it was Billy Joe McAllister. So that's $2 for everybody. I don't see anybody getting out $2. George, Brian, come on. All right. And some people pay it online. And we are going to audit it. Okay, so the next one is Glenn Shergott. Hey, Glenn, you're a sports guy, so I'm going to ask you a sports question. What strongman was the original 97-pound weakling? Remember, these were advertised in the back of comic books and stuff? Who said that? Who said Charles Atlas? That was you, Ernie, right? But I called for Glenn to do it, so now everybody has to pay $2 because you cheated. Just 2 more and the fun's almost done. By the way, I forgot to say this, and you give them the money back if you took any money from them. If your house burned down on your birthday, you have a pass today. All right, Debbie Schmidt.
That's quite the candles on your birthday.
Choose geography, entertainment, history, arts and literature, science, or sports and leisure. Okay, history. What city did Emperor Augustus? Okay, entertainment. What was the name of Beretta? Remember Beretta? This was the 1970s. What was the name of the cockatoo?
Oh, the cockatoo.
It was Fred. It was Fred. Just so you know, the other one was an easy question, the history one. That's $2 for everybody, but if you paid $5 already or more, you can stuff. Okay, the history question was, we'll just do this will end it, okay? And Brian, it's for you. What city did Emperor Augustus claim he found brick and left marble? He found the city brick and he left it marble. Emperor Augustus. Emperor Augustus. Rome. Rome is the answer. That's the one you skipped, Deb. Okay, I'll see you next time.
We're still looking at them.
Hey, can I make an announcement? Any Catholics interested in a Lenten Stations of the Cross service at St. Matthew's tonight, my choir will be singing musical interludes. It'll be quite nice. 7 o'clock at St. Matthew's tonight.
Mr. President, could we ask Holly to give us a 2-3 minute rendition of what she
No,
did?
I'm not doing that. Not without, no, there's gonna be a piano shot. Yeah. No.
But Holly, maybe you can tell us more about your trip.
That was it.
Oh, okay.
No, the trip. So you got it.
Sorry. Well, okay. Well, so we worked in Uganda. We were in the very bottom western corner near Congo and Tanzania. And there and a third country too, and like down in the very corner. And it would have been much faster for us to fly into Tanzania. And but there was like the security stuff and going across the border would have been an issue. So we did what we did, and it was a very long trip. But I'll tell you, it was really rewarding, and these kids are just delightful. And it's just, you know, it was just a lovely opportunity to demonstrate the goodwill of Americans and how hard we're willing to work for their benefit. And we heard over and over again how like there's so much corruption in the government, even though like Uganda is a democracy, you know, there still is tons of corruption. Like you give the money to the government, it's mostly going to go. So that's why a public partnership, a private partnership is essential. So working with Rotary clubs on the ground is the way to go. 'Cause then, you know, like all the money that was raised from our club and from, I think there's like 8 other clubs in the area that contributed. That money, Jim Wales sent down like 2 weeks before before our trip. And so all the materials were there when we got there, and they were already starting on like the roof and all this kind of stuff. So it's pretty much done, the school, except for the windows and doors. and the windows are sort of like steel gratings in there. There's no glass. But this building will have electricity, which is cool. There's no bathrooms, no running water, it's latrines, a hole in the ground. So we have perfected our yogi squats. Yeah, like never have I seen anything like that before. And there's three. Okay, we're gonna talk about latrines. Are you guys interested? Because this was fascinating for this city girl. Like what? So there's three, and very rudimentary building. And the one that was locked, the headmaster has the key. So that's the nice one that has toilet paper in there, and it's not hideous. Like the other two are hideous. And so anyway.
Are you allowed into the headmaster's latrine?
Oh yeah, we all knew where that key was. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So how you've never been to an outdoor concert? It sounds
Not a portal potty would have been like the Four Seasons compared to what the hole in the ground that we, and like on the road trips, like we'd stop at a gas station or something, use the bathroom. That latrine, that hole in the ground was so hideous that it's like, okay, I think I'll hold it for another 5 hours because I'll go out in the middle of the street and squat before I'm using that.
You're really trying to sell these international service projects. I just can't wait. Where'd you sign up?
Well, you get used to it. And you just make do. Like the running water situation, hot and cold, if there's water pressure, if there's not, that kind of stuff, it's like you just have to deal with what you deal with, but I loved it. And I'm the first one to sign up for the next trip for sure.
And Holly, I think our club contributed like $1,500
Yes.
from our international service.
Yes.
That we,
And they do need another $10,000 if anybody wants to write a check to finish the windows and doors and finish the school.
tell us about the school and what we built, what we helped.
Well, this is like an extension of the school. The school existing building has no electricity, obviously not running water, the latrines in the backyard, but they, I think it goes like they started age 3 up until I think 4th grade. And then after that, they're kind of done with school unless they go to another level of school. And you have to pay no matter even the younger grades, but a little bit more for the older kids. So this additional building that we built is for the older kids, and that will have electricity, which is really exciting. Everything's built with clay bricks that are 5 pounds each, that, you driving across the country, and all of these homes, like, domiciles I call them brick farms, like people making bricks in their front yard with the clay. They mix with water, form it with some like a wood form, and then they built with clay bricks. You see them all over the place, like an outdoor oven, and that's how they fire the bricks. And so everything is built with these things all over the country with these clay bricks and mortar, and or else eucalyptus trees. And the eucalyptus trees grow like weeds there, and they're amazing to work with because they're super straight, and they're like always a uniform size. And so like the scaffolding in the school, like they're up on, like they built these scaffolding with the eucalyptus trees and like a board, and these guys are all barefoot, the tradesmen, it's just it's like, wow, there's no power tools, there's no squares and any of the stuff that like construction people take for granted. It's really basic. But the local guy, who's also a Rotarian, is an engineer, and he took 2 weeks out of his job and traveled to this area, and for 2 weeks, and he was going to rest. This guy is wonderful. But he masterminded, he was the project leader of this entire build and hired the tradesmen and all that kind of stuff. Wonderful guy. So yeah, I just loved it.
Holly, did you stay in a hotel or what were your accommodations?
We stayed in a lodge that was on the hillside, and it was kind of
kind of a higher elevation. This part of the country is a little bit higher elevation, but it's so lush and green. It was amazing. But so you drive, like you pull up into this little town and, you know, there's chickens walking around and goats everywhere. And funny, there's not many dogs in Uganda. You know, after being in Guatemala and there's like dogs everywhere, there's like no dogs there. It was interesting. Yeah. So anyway, we pulled into in this little town, and the bus drives up this hill that is so obnoxiously steep. Like there is no vehicle that has any business, right? Like most of your body weight's on your back as you're driving up this hill. It was unbelievable. So you drive up, and then around the corner, and now this you go. Then you get to the sort of a base thing, and a lot of people just walk because it there's not enough room for that. So you get the base thing from there to the rooms, 110 steps. I counted them. Yeah. And so that's just to get to the room. Then you come back down for like dinner. Then you go back. Go to bed. There was a bar though, like right under our room. So that was cool. Yeah.
What did you have to eat?
Pardon me?
What did you have to eat?
Well, the restaurant in the lodge, we ate there, I think 3 times during the week. And then we went to other lodges that in the area. They eat a lot of stewy kind of stuff.
It's dog.
Well, yeah, that's where all the dogs are. Oh my. No, they eat a lot of goat, goat meat.
How did it taste?
I didn't eat the goat meat. No. I ate a lot of fish. The tilapia there, I don't like tilapia here. It's like farm raised, industrial farm, not so great. There, it's like real tilapia, and it was delicious. So I had a lot of fish, chicken. That's pretty much what I lived on, and rice. A lot of rice. And they have like curries and lentil, things like that. And chapata is the bread that's kind of like naan. And that's what I gluten myself by accident. Like the eggs one day the eggs were rolled up in this ciabatta, and it looked like a corn tortilla, and I was so hungry, so I said, I think I said, is it corn? But there's a big language barrier. The more educated people, English is their language, because there's like 40 languages spoken in Uganda. And there's sort of like a main one, but most people speak their local dialect. And so the engineer couldn't really communicate well with a lot of the workers because he's from a different part of Uganda. So that was really interesting too. So I digress, but there was a guy who came to visit the school. He was from Congo. There's a refugee village of 150,000 refugees from Congo in Uganda, because we're close to the border, So he lives in this refugee area, and 150,000, there's like villages within this refugee camp. There's a Rotary club. So he's in the Rotary club. His big mission is teaching these kids from the Congo English, because in the Congo, the language the unifying language there is French, because the French colonized there. So in Uganda, it's all English. So these people have moved now to Uganda. They need to learn English. So this guy is like, I said, how many languages do you know? He knows like 4 languages. So it's really interesting.
Is that Derek, the Rotary guy?
No, this is just a guy who lived in the refugee camp that came to see the school. I don't know if you heard about it or something. It was on the local news. I was on the local news for Hall and Sand. Yeah, they had a couple of journalists came and interviewed us, and took pictures and stuff. And the guy, I had a conversation with one of the journalists, and he said, "No, we just, we are truth seekers." And I said, "Wow, you have to be really careful." He goes, "Oh, you have no idea." Yeah.
So you sent some pictures on Facebook that were really interesting to see, glad to see them. Thank you for posting. So we knew you were safe,
Yeah.
Was the electricity kind of spotty, or did you have electricity the whole time, or?
We did in our little lodge thing, but a lot of people didn't. And the walls are paper thin, and like you could see over the top into the next room and hear all the conversations going on. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's just the way it is. But yeah, our electricity was fine, but not in the whole place.
And how many days of could you share the cost of
The entire trip, I think, was $3,300, including airfare, lodging, breakfast and lunch every day, sometimes breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The meals, you go out and you have a wonderful meal, bottle of wine and stuff, and it just costs you like $17. It's really very inexpensive. So we were on our own for that.
And how many days?
Well, it was like 14 days, but it's hard to, there's at least 2 days travel on each end, So 5 days working. Then we had a day, we went to this farm lodge. That was like part of the excursion. And I'm thinking, oh, please, farm, do I really care about this? Well, it was really cool. And this was immaculate. This was like the Ritz-Carlton of Uganda. It was beautiful. And the rooms, like there's these gorgeous 4-poster bed with a mosquito netting, and they come and turn down your thing, and a little scrolled up thing with a ribbon on your pillow with a chocolate. This was a really nice place. And they raise these dairy cows that have horns that are like 3 feet long, and they shed the horns every year and grow new horns. But I'm like petting the cows. It was insane. And then they did a whole demonstration, and they picked and this is what this farm lodge does. Like they do demonstrations on how to make ghee, how to make butter. And they pick somebody out and they dress you in like the traditional garb. I wasn't picked, but another gal was. And that was really cool. So she's like, they take smoke, they light like a thing of grasses, and they light it so that all this smoke comes out. They disinfect the containers with the smoke, and they use those to like turn the thing, and that's like their butter churn. And it's just wild. So they make ghee and they make butter, and that's like what's served in their restaurant there. But the grounds are flawless. They had a gorgeous swimming pool. I mean, a beautiful spot. Everything was. This was I wish we would have stayed there a few more days. To tell you the truth, it was fabulous.
See any wild animals?
Oh yeah, so 2 days of safari, yes, which I only made one day because I had some gluten issues. But yeah, we saw baboons and monkeys and these antelope. What are they called? Ugandan cob, which are a type of antelope. They are everywhere. And then we went on a boat and had a boat ride down by the water, and that's where all the animals come to cool themselves, and tons of elephants. And watching these elephants, and I guess only the boy elephants come to the water. The girl elephants stay like minding the young. So only the boys. And some of them were like the brattiest. They were pushing each other around. And then another one had to come and break it up. It was just wild watching the interaction between these elephants. It was crazy. And then the hippos are dangerous animals, because these things they can stay underwater for a long time, and they can pop a boat up because they're so big and strong. And these hippos are lined up like speed bumps, like along the side of the river. It was like a hippo parking lot. And then we come like, oh, there's another hippo parking lot. Lined up, and they're just monstrous. And then there'd be like these birds that would come and sit on the hippos and crap on the hippo. So like all the hippos would have like, it was wild. I can't imagine doing a safari for like weeks. I know some people do. That was plenty for me. I mean, I loved it. I had a great time. I saw one lion, but it's like you had to use the thing, and it was like laying down, so that wasn't that interesting. But we saw a zebra, and just seeing animals in their natural environment like that was just wild.
Did you see the Rotarian that was here from Uganda?
Julius?
Julius, did
Oh.
you see him?
No, I forgot about him. Yeah,
Well, Julius he now lives here in the States, in Shopper.
where in Uganda is he from? Do you remember? Kampala?
In the city of Kampala.
Okay.
They're like 4 hours away from where you're at, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, yeah, that, well, we were by Kabali. That's like where the flag is from, Kabali. And Kampala is the capital. That's a big area. And Kampala South, that the Rotary Club of Kampala South, our tour director, that's his club. Yeah, so no, I totally forgot about him.
Holly, did you buy anything?
I got a cow horn. I did buy a cow horn. It's the coolest thing ever. Yeah, if anybody wants to see it, they can come to my house. I can bring it in. They're hollow. They're like light as air. They're light. I packed all my dirty clothes inside the thing because it's like this big and it's like this long. So from tip to end to end, it like took up the bulk of my suitcase, but I stuffed it all with dirty clothes. So it was supported on both sides, so it made it just fine. Yeah, and I got a couple little things, not a whole lot. Yep. What? No, Louis. Way different trip. Yes.
Thank you very much, Holly. All right, next week, March 10th, Terry McHugh will be here from the District 54 Foundation to talk about how they help kids in District 54. And I know they do a lot of different things, so it will be interesting to know what they do. All right, all rise. Bob Fleischer, will you do the four-way test?
Absolutely. Four-way test of the things we think, say, and do or do. One. Is it true?
Is the mayor of all concerned? Will build the railroad our friendships? Will be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you for your service and thank you for us all enjoying this day together.
All right.
Might not be much there.
Now we're gonna be enough. Go fish.
$3 and eggs. Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes. Roger.
Yeah. Work on that, right? Thank you. All right.
Oh, right. Yeah, I got it. So,